Hi, I'm Joanne Klepal with Live Your Yellow Brick Road. And before we begin to move on to how we can reprogram our subconscious patterns and operating system, I want to touch on something called internal representation, or the internal pictures we have in our minds, and the NLP model of communication. So have you ever found yourself wondering about these different types of scenarios? First, why we can see an event very differently and have a completely different view than the person sitting next to us. Or how you and a colleague can read the same document and both walk away with an entirely different idea about what the document said or meant. Or how some siblings that grow up together in the same household, the same parents, going to the same school, with the same teachers, can have a completely different view of their upbringing. Or how somebody who may have been abused when they were a child can grow up to have a healthy and productive life, whereas somebody else can use that event for everything that is wrong in their life. Or how someone who may have been jilted in a relationship early on has struggles and carries that anger with them, and another person can easily move on and find healthy, happy relationships. So each one of us has our own internal representation or internal picture in our mind, which is impacted by many factors such as our values, beliefs, our memories, experiences, and so on. And you already know from the previous segments how important our subconscious programming is, and how a lot of our programming beliefs and values are programmed from a very, very, very early age. So your subconscious sees and hears everything around us, and it stores all that information. It stores all of our memories. But like a dam that can only hold so much water, the conscious can only take in and process so much information at once. So, for example, if you were to walk into a room, your subconscious retains everything it sees. But if you were to be asked to describe every single detail in that room, consciously, you will only remember a few details. So, let's think about a dam. So, when the dam is full and can't handle any more water, it overflows, right? So our conscious is similar. It does three things when it cannot handle and process all the information at once. It deletes, it distorts, and it generalizes information. So let's take an example of your emails. Think about all the emails that you receive in a day. And I know on some days it seems that it can be a full-time job reviewing and responding to emails, right? So what do? So we typically scan them at a glance, see who they're from, determine the importance, um, categorize some and put them in folders that we may or may not get to at a future date. And then we also delete some automatically. Maybe they're junk, maybe they're not important, but we delete them without even opening them. And think about it, even the ones you do read, you can easily misinterpret the message different than the sender. It could be, how are you feeling that day? How much pressure do you have? What do you have going on? How much time do you have to review it in detail? So you're actually filtering emails based upon your experience, time factor, importance, and so on. And your conscious also filters. It has filters which go through the process of deleting distorting and generalizing information based upon, again, factors such as your beliefs, your memories, experiences, and so on. And this is a reason why the interpretation of an event can be so vastly different from one person to another. So, based upon our filters, our internal representation, our internal picture of an event can actually impact our mental state, our physical state, and in turn, of course, our behaviors. Now, you can change any one of those and have an impact to the other. So, for example, if you change your physical state, it might impact your mental state. So, let's take an example of losing a job. Now, we can choose to interpret losing a job as a devastating event based upon our past beliefs. Our past beliefs, such as you must not have been good enough if they let you go, or you may have not been doing a good job if they let you go, or your job is your identity. So in turn, you feel down, exhausted of energy. You decide to become inactive, stay in bed all day and loaf around, complain about the situation, complain about how you were mistreated, and not take any action to look for another opportunity. You can always change your internal picture, your internal representation, or your state. So, for example, in that case, you could change your physical state by immediately jumping out of bed in the morning, exercising, and even doing incantations. This, in turn, will help change your mental state, and in turn, impacting your behavior and actions. You could change how you look at the event. So instead of seeing it as the worst thing that's ever happened to you in your entire life, you can see it as an opportunity to learn a new skill, to do something you've always wanted to do but never made the time, an opportunity to transition to another career, or see it as an opportunity to spend more time with your family. You can also update and reprogram your values and your beliefs. So the bottom line here is, because there are 8 billion subconscious programs walking around on the earth, and there's an infinite number of ways to interpret an event, all based upon how we delete, distort, and generalize information, that we have at least 8 billion views or internal pictures of any one event or situation. So the good news is we have the ability to update our subconscious programs. And I'll talk more about this on a future segment. In the meantime, for more information, go to liveyouryellowbrickroad.com, liveyouryellowbrickroad.com, or visit Facebook and Instagram at liveyourybr. That's liveyourybr. In the meantime, have a wonderful day. Thank you.